Liverpool Fan in Japan.
Hello YouTube, Liverpool Fan in Japan here, the Miyazaki man Sai. Right, the name on everyone's lips right now is Federico Chiesa. I know, potential injury, sick note, do we want him in our squad? There's many upsides to this transfer that you may not have acknowledged. I told you from the very beginning when Arne Slot came in, one of his first signings will be a winger. I even went in depth in a winger Wonderland video. The reason is Arne Slot loves to rotate his wingers. He loves a fresh batch of wingers, either with the same attributes or different attributes. But these wingers need to cover all facets of wing play. And Federico Chiesa to Liverpool gives us a nice complementary batch. Lucho Diaz, Mo Salah, Federico Chiesa, Cody Gakpo. Wow, what a selection. And Federico Chiesa actually brings something that none of our other wingers have in our squad, except perhaps Endo. The ability to go around the outside consistently. He is a powerful forward with a powerful straight shot. Now, if you look at our forward line, predominantly they're very one-footed. Lucho Diaz with the right foot. I know he scored with his left, but it's not his most comfortable foot. Mo Salah is very left-footed. Cody Gakpo loves his right foot. Diogo Jota's a slotter, can play on the wings, shoot with both feet. But Federico Chiesa is very adept at finishing and dribbling with both feet. He is predominantly right-footed, cutting inside from the left-hand side, but he plays on the right-hand side as well. He played 4 times on the right wing for Italy, and in the Euros, he absolutely lit it up, even in the Euro final. He is an international player of the highest caliber, and get this, he would cost half a Sepp Vandenberg, half a Fabio Carvalho. His ceiling is sky high. He can put in a 10 out of 10 performance. You need that caliber of player in your squad, and some people are doubting he's only going to play 12 to 15 games a season. Perfect, because Mo Salah can play the rest of them. And he can come on the substitute as well. But do you really think that's an issue? Because last season, I believe, even after coming back from injury, he played 37 games, give or take. Also, the season before that, I'm sure he played over 30 games, like 32, 33 games for Juve after the injury as well. Now, when you have an ACL injury, right, the muscles around it take some time to get your body back to familiarity, trust your body, do what you used to do as well, but you have the ability to adapt. And the thing with Federico Chiesa is he's an intelligent player. Arne Slot likes piling on intelligent players to fit the tactical system in his setup. I will show you on the tactics board exactly what I mean in terms of how Chiesa can contribute to Liverpool's attack, his tactical play, and how he'd be a perfect fit, especially with Gakpo. Delivery from the left, hello, physical being on the right hand side, more prominent in the air than Mo Salah. Mo Salah can go in and behind in the playmaking role, in the Mazzala role, even the false forward role, yet to be seen. However, Cody Gakpo, Chiesa could be a match made in heaven. Additionally, if you look at Arne Slot's Feyenoord, Pagzao, the tricky mercurial winger, Yakuba Minte, absolutely rapid, likes to go around the outside as well, great with take-ons. That's what we were targeting this window with Anthony Gordon, the same prototype as Federico Chiesa, a bit of skill, very direct, physicality with a straight shot, ability to use both feet very well. That was a prototype of winger that Arne Slot wanted, because it's only Ben Doak in our squad who consistently can take a man on, even go around the outside, cause havoc and directness. But the thing with Federico Chiesa, especially compared to Ben Doak, is his finishing is cultured and clinical of both feet. He can hit it high into net, he can hit it low with a drive, he can do a straight edge hammerhead shot drive, he can curl it as well. Proficient in all manners of finishes, because his father, Enrico Chiesa, was a top-notch striker back in the day. Him and Del Vecchio sharing the load for Italy, and he would have taught him a thing or two about finishing, right? So I love my clinical shooting, finishing wide players, especially those that can get 10 goals or thereabouts. He would contribute, and especially when you need a rotation, when you need an option on the bench to change things when it's not going so well, Federico Chiesa looks the part. He really does. Look at our set of wingers: Mo Salah, Chiesa on the right. People say, doesn't Chiesa play off the left though? Why are we so overloaded with left wingers? Obviously, Lucho Diaz, Cody Gakpo, Nunes can play there, Jota can play there as well. However, that's a good thing that he can play on the left, right? Options, tactical options, all throughout the whole team. Up front, Jota, Nunes, and potentially a Salah or Gakpo behind him as well. That front line, there's options there, baby. We're going to need it. It's going to be a full-on season, especially in the cup matches and other matches where you need the high caliber of player to bring players to bring the youngsters through, give the squad and the team sheet a bit of a boost, experienced head, the people that have been there and done it on a higher stage. You're talking Wataru Endo, Kwanzaa, who is now a veteran of the youth ranks, Harvey Elliott, who's the inspiration of the youth ranks, Curtis Jones, who's still relatively young, and he is trusted by the senior squad and the junior squads, with a Chiesa up there as well, potentially a Nunes, a Gakpo. Tyler Morton might be going on loan to Bayer Leverkusen. There's interest there. That's an interesting one. Tyler Morton on loan to Bayer Leverkusen, because he'll find it very hard to break in that squad. But if Alonso is interested in him, he must think that there's a role for Tyler Morton to play, as well as the fact that Alonso is the prototype the genesis of that deep lying playmaker, tempo maestro, ball playing midfielder who can step into the 8. Alonso would be great for Morton's development. How many games Morton would play for though? Wouldn't he be better served as a backup at Liverpool? But if all things are agreed, Alonso would have wanted him for a reason. Let's see how it turns out. And the name I forgot that can bring the youngsters through those cup games, Joe Gomez, fullback, centre back. He's got everyone's back. Joey Gomez is super reliable and never let Liverpool down. Now, he is linked to Crystal Palace repeatedly, and in the last few days, there will be movement, and it won't be one because we want to get rid of Joe Gomez. No. Joe Gomez, Jodini, has been a loyal servant to Liverpool FC, and we're all proud, so proud of Joe, especially in Japan. You know, coming from Charlton, one of the lesser-known teams, he kind of put Charlton on the map for Liverpool fans. In Japan, they're not so familiar with the teams that got relegated, unfortunately. And, you know, Joey Gomez from Charlton. Oh, Charlton. Arigato gozaimasu. You've done us a favour, given us a loyal servant who can play across the back line, never complained, never moaned, on probably a fair wage, come in for a title-winning season, never lets the team down. If he moves, it's because it's our thank you to Joe Gomez for being an absolute stalwart and servant to Liverpool. And with our blessing, go on to play regular games and get into the England setup, mate. Go on, Joe. But if he stays, great for us. Strength in depth. Now, people talk about this centre-back issue. We've lost Sepp Vandenberg, right? And losing Joe Gomez, isn't that absolutely bonkers? Well, you'd hope that Richard Hughes and the transfer committee would have an option to replace Joe Gomez. We lose a homegrown factor, but I think we're still fairly comfortable with the homegrown quota. So bring in another player to act as fourth choice, because look at this perspective, right? Rather than thinking of a whole batch of centre-backs, think of everyone that can play in centre-back, and then think of who's nailed on. Virgil van Dijk will play 95% of games when he's fit, because he's an absolute Rolls Royce. He never puts in an atrocious performance. He can play week in, week out to a consistently high level. He's a goal threat. He's the leader. He's the captain of the club. So it's Van Dijk +1 for all the important games, whether that's Kwanzaa and Konate, who seems like first choice at the moment, or a Gomez waiting in the wings, or a Maranello coming in for cup games as well. Nat Phillips is still here, and even though he might be limited as a player, he is a Liverpool player. He has never let us down. The system can protect him, and in a pinch, Wataru Endo started his career centre-back. He's okay in that position, and even Andrew Robertson or Stefan Bajcetic, who is still here, can play centre-back. So Van Dijk +1 out of 7. It ain't so bad when you look at it from that perspective, right? And Robertson could do a job as well. Well, anyone can do a job next to Van Dijk. I could do a job next to Van Dijk. Boys, Luke FC, come on, let's go. I'll be like the Asian Roberto Ayala, leaping like a fish, heading it out. Probably wear one of those Nike Alice bands or something, you know, looks a bit cool. Maybe dye the hair. But they can't afford me anyway. And they left it too late in the transfer window. I'm already committed this season. But I digress just a little bit. Now, DiMarzio, an Italian news outlet, and they've kind of been on downfall ever since Fabricio Romano left them, and, you know, he's gone on to superstardom in his own right. Here we go. It's me, it's Mario. No, that's Mario, isn't it? DiMarzio or Romano. I don't know. It's all good, isn't it? Anyway, they're claiming that Federico Chiesa wants 24 hours to wait to see if Barcelona come back in for him, because he might prefer that move. He might get more playing time. He might get a higher wage. Who knows, right? That wage of £81 million is still very expensive and would increase his wage package compared to Juventus, because Serie A don't pay that much historically in wages, even though he's one of Juventus' highest earners as well. I think that 81k is around 96,000 euros per week. Man, that's still a fair wage, right? But Barcelona can't even afford him. They barely registered Dani Olmo, right? Their newest signing with a big hoo-ha. They got him in the doors and couldn't register him because Andreas Christensen has been deregistered because of the fact he's got that long-term injury, Achilles injury, which I think, isn't that the one that retired Gerard Piqué ultimately, before he messed things up with Shakira? I don't know. That's getting to the kind of Big Brother territory, innit? Let's park that for now. But really, what kind of levers can they really pull here? They might have even used like a physical lever to batter Christensen. Said, we need Olmo, Christensen, down boy. And Christensen like, no, Masca, no. But yeah, I don't think they got any levers left. There's no way they can get Lucho Diaz. If they can't get Lucho Diaz, there's no way they can get Chiesa either. So Chiesa, I think Liverpool got a free run, and this is an opportunistic transfer because it makes sense for all parties, okay? He's got 1 year left on the contract. He won't renew it. He can put in a 10 out of 10 performance, and not many players can actually say they can do that, and he is an international pedigree player. People think of an injury-prone player, a Thiago Alcantara, Naby Keita, for example, but this is a player that doesn't need to start. Naby Keita and Thiago were signed as starters. Federico Chiesa could come in as a rotation option for Mo Salah, giving Salah a rest so he can perform at his optimum ability week in, week out, but also an option because he has finishing of the highest caliber when he gets into the right positions. Left foot, which is cultured, and right foot, which is powerful as well. He's an intelligent player. He would have cost 100 million or 90 million euro if he didn't suffer the injury and if he was playing week in, week out. But under Thiago Motta, who's a build-up type manager. He prefers his more slow, patient build-up instead of direct, ruthless efficiency. He prefers a Jadon Sancho, a Conceição, Nico Gonzalez, for example, right? So there's many reasons that Juve want to get rid of him. One of the highest wage earners, isn't peak physicality and health because of the injury, still getting back to it, still sky high ceiling. He wasn't used in his preferred position because he is an out and out winger. He is operating on the width. He'd really hug the touchline. He can operate inside as well. He's kind of like an inside forward shadow striker in the last season. It's not his strongest point, right? When he can stand a man up with his physicality, with his intimidating physique, he looks a menace. He would really hug the touchline and give us natural width there, whereas Salah and Lucho Diaz really want to come inside. Cody Gakpo really wants to come inside. So there's a different option there, more like a Yakubu Minte instead of the Paixão at Feyenoord. And Juve need to get rid of him for financial fair play as well. And a few other things that make this opportunistic is the fact that Liverpool getting a player on the final year of the contract, 15 million euros, 10 million pounds thereabouts, absolute bargain. You will never lose money on this transfer because he is an option and he's still got the international reputation. Big clubs will still be looking at him as well. And if he really can't perform at Liverpool, there's one rung lower, your Villas, your Brightons, that kind of thing. They would still take a punt on him and he's worth the 15 million. In fact, he might be even worth 20 million if he can get some consistent performances in the Premier League when he actually appears. So he's relatively young, 26. The wage isn't extortionate. The transfer fee, as I said, half a Carvalho, half a Sepp Vandenberg. It's an absolute no-brainer if you can convince him to come. That's the biggest problem for clubs, convincing a player of that caliber to come. And I think he does want to come to the Premier League. He's given the go-ahead to the wage package, to the transfer, to the challenge of the Premier League. And Liverpool have been linked with him, or rumoured to be linked with him, for at least, 4 or 5 years. So you get into the kind of territory. Liverpool have shown an interest. Liverpool are watching him. Liverpool are scouting him. Liverpool are keeping tabs on him. Liverpool may make a move for him. We've begun the process of watching him. We've begun the process of drafting an email to send to his agent. Liverpool have begun the process of beginning to send the actual email to the agent. Liverpool have sent the email to the agent and waiting for a reply. The agent has replied, and 2 years later, Liverpool are waiting to draft the email to reply to the agent's reply. That kind of thing, right? So now, 5 years later, maybe we've moved on from the watching stage or scouting stage or monitoring stage and we're actually doing something, which is fantastic to see. And one day we might finally get Konoplyanka, Simao Sabrosa, Ricardo Quaresma. I hear he's looking for a move to Liverpool as well. And Joaquin Sanchez can still turn it on in tight spaces, but I digress just a little bit. All facts aside, he's a low-risk signing for a low budget, kind of like Shaqiri, will accept his place in the rotation, offers physicality as an out-and-out winger that can shoot off both feet, better in the air than Mo Salah, comes with international pedigree as well, will want to improve himself, will want to make a name for himself in the Premier League, and is an intelligent player, and it would be a Liverpool type signing, and it would be someone that Arne Slot has identified for his winger Wonderland, because that's what's important, giving Arne Slot the players that he actually wants, right, for the system that he wants to implement, because my goodness, the slot machine is up and running, 2 wins out of 2 clean sheets, great attacking threat, constant game-winning scenario positions. I love it, man. I love it. And one of the worst things I've read over the last 24 hours is typical FSG. They want to sign this player just to appease the Liverpool fan base. I lost a few points of IQ reading that. Really? Can anyone really, in their heart of hearts, think that managing directors of football, scouting departments, people who draw up the shortlist, people who run the purse strings, running an international club, one of the top 5 clubs in world football, in my opinion, the number 1, if not number 2, best well-run clubs in world football, would sign something to appease the fans? We're only going to sign him. We don't really want him. We don't really need him, but we need to appease the fan base, yo. This is a strategic signing, you know, because we might reduce the FSG out by at least 3%. And it's all about those marginal games. It's all about those marginal gains. But one thing that I'm really, really glad for is the world community, an international fan base. I know we're building the greatest international fan base here at Liverpool Fan in Japan channel ever. Thank you so much for everyone supporting the channel. Smash that like. It really helps the video get seen as well. Interact and comment. I reply to all comments personally. We're up to 53 members now. My heart is absolutely melting. First 100 are guaranteed to get a limited edition item, goodie, adornment or jersey. The surprise is still in the waiting, but it will be very unique with your unique member number and nickname if you so choose, and preferred name on that memorial piece for the first 100 members. But yes, Liverpool fans, international fans, world football fans have shown their gratitude and respect for Sven-Göran Eriksson, who sadly passed away. Now, Sven-Göran Eriksson is a guy with a positive outlook on life, very similar to myself, the first international manager in the England dugout, universally respected, lived life to the fullest, and even got to achieve his dream of sitting in the dugout for the Liverpool charity match very recently. So I'm so happy that Sven managed to achieve his dreams, and surrounded by loved ones and affection from the worldwide community, we send our condolences to his family. What a great man. And what a gentleman as well. And a lifelong Liverpool fan, which we all respect. So yes, Federico Chiesa had his bad injuries, suffering with musculature problems in the recovery period of that. He only misses 2 or 3 games thereabouts, but on a rotation option as well. That's not too bad because we still have the cover for the right wing slot, which you're probably expecting him to cover Mo Salah on. And Arne Slot's injury record is phenomenal. His setup, his way of playing, his staff is designed to prevent injuries as well. And in terms of opportunistic, we took the gamble on an injury-prone Jota. We took a gamble on an injury-prone Konate. Now, they don't always work out. Naby Keita had no injury record, really, before coming to Liverpool, from Leipzig. And Thiago Alcantara, for all his injury problems, right, it just really invigorates the fan base when you sign someone of such caliber. And even the performances and goals and ability and respect, and even the training videos in itself is still a priceless memory for us Liverpool fans. And even though his body let him down, it was never a mental fault. He battled through it to help us in the Champions League final, to do what he could do on the pitch. He tried his best behind the scenes, helped Darwin Núñez to communicate and acclimatise, was a model professional. Everyone loved to train with him, always had a smile on his face. Sometimes it's worth the gamble, and in this case, such minimal financial outlay for this player makes total sense to me. And he is someone I highlighted from the very beginning of the transfer window as someone who fits a prototype of the winger that we don't currently have. That out-and-out winger who starts out wide, can finish with both feet, has a strong direct shot and a bit of physicality around him. Okay, so let's get into the tactics board. So obviously I haven't got a Chiesa can badge for now, but we're going to represent him with this rather adorable blade snapper triangle. The Blade Snapper, that could be a nickname for Chiesa. But before we go into Chiesa, isn't this a really attractive second string lineup? In fact, I think between Man City and Liverpool, we have probably the best second string lineup in the Premier League at the moment. Because if you're considering second string everyone who didn't get into the first 11 last week, now Kelleher has gone missing. He's done a walkabout because maybe he might be transferred, but I think we'll keep on to him this season. So unfortunately, Kelleher doesn't make an appearance here. But just behind the front line, we have Kostas Tsimikas, Joe Gomez, Jarrell Quansah, who was starting as first choice but in the rotation with Konate, Connor Bradley, Wataru Man Mountain, the Big E himself, Endo, Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, Federico Chiesa, Darwin Núñez, and Cody Gakpo. Wow, that, my friends, is an amazing team in itself. Look at that team. Tsimikas, the Scouse Greek, Joe Dini, never ever lets you down. Jarrell Quansah, there or thereabouts in the first team. Connor Bradley, just as viable an option as Trent Alexander-Arnold, and that is saying something at right back. Wataru Endo to hold the anchor, give us a base to play from, a creative wizard and wonder kid in Harvey Elliott. Curtis Jones, who does not look out of place in terms of a technical ball playing team. Federico Chiesa, goal-scoring winger who's done it in the Euros on the international stage for big clubs, can finish off both feet, physicality, can go around the outside, can come inside to shoot and link up as well. Darwin Núñez, a high caliber elite young striker who's yet to put it all together, but when he does, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. All the raw attributes and tools are there, and he's shown it in glimpses. And Cody Gakpo, many people starting left winger for this season, has to get in front of Lucho Diaz on merit, but we know exactly what he can do, as he showed it in the Euros as well. That is a fantastic looking 11. Now, just to digress a little bit, we're going to put the real players in, the prominent players. And by real players, I just mean those that have started in the 11 in the opening few fixtures. So unfortunately, these lads can take a break, a well-earned break. And the old guard, the wise heads, have come in. I was tempted to leave Endo in there, but his time will come. Majestic and Domi Schlobbers. We're going to bunt Chiesa in there for now. just to show you some tactical variations. And in this formation, I'm going to start with Cody Gakpo here, because look at the tactical options available here. He might even sign in time for Man United, yet to be seen. I'm going to do the biggest and best Man United preview there's ever been, covering all bases of everything for this matchup and how the shiny one will absolutely batter his fellow compatriot Ten Hag in the fixture at Old Trafford. And you know what? I might even reach out to some Man United content creators and see if any of them will want to give me some insight into what Man United could potentially do, because I'll do my own preview of it. But let's see the view from the other side of the pond. Okay, so the options here are absolutely scary, because Chiesa is very adept at taking the ball down the line. Now, you'd probably like Chiesa in this position more than a Mo Salah, because this is further away from goal, but he does some of his best work on the width as well, and he manages to worm his way into position on the diagonal to join in as the inside half inner forward as well. Jota can run the lines. We know that Arne Slot loves this vertical here, so linking Diogo Jota to a Chiesa gives him the options to open his body, to go left-footed, to smash it left-footed in, to right-foot rocket it in as well, to right-foot place it in as well, to give you the extra option of a Cody Gakpo on the lateral, because Cody Gakpo's direct shot as well. You'd expect on the overlap, backing up, or external option as well. You know for the fact that Arne Slot actually plays this ball sometimes out to a Soboslai, who will return the ball in for a physical specimen in Chiesa to get a glancing header, for Cody Gakpo to come in and get the header, or get the header on target as well. There are many variations, but the thing that Chiesa offers is the ability to strike with left and right foot and start from a wider position. Now, I'm not saying that he's better than Mo Salah, because Mo Salah in this kind of arc here, let's reset the ball, Mo Salah in this kind of arc here is the best in world football. Prove me wrong. His metrics stand up to everybody in world football for ever since he's been at Liverpool. My goodness, he didn't even need time to adapt. Literally, in this position here, anywhere here, you look at Mo Salah, he's the man for the occasion in that position. He'll finish with aplomb and he'll skin you up like Aymeric Laporte, who fell on his body. So that is one variation. If you look at the other variations as well, the beautiful thing about Federico Chiesa is we know we transition laterally across the pitch on Arne Slot until the third man gives the ball. Now, if you imagine this kind of lineup here, so let's imagine we work the ball. Gravenberch picks up the return, gives it to Trent Alexander-Arnold on the width. Alexander-Arnold pings a lateral ball across to Robertson, who moves on to McAllister. Now, where is the free? The free is now here, and Federico Chiesa, not to be confused with Federico Makeda, because I don't like that guy. He pulled off a one-hit wonder against Aston Villa. The rest is history. Congratulations, Man United. You got your one game out of him. But anyway, I digress. Lateral. Now, if you get Chiesa in this position here, I think Chiesa's long shot is perfect for a spillage or predator. And I think Cody Gakpo this season is not an out-and-out left winger. He is a Raumdeuter like Thomas Müller, who sniffs the opportunity to roam into the space to convert the maximum amount of goals, because Gakpo this season, I think, is efficiency in goals, in shooting and in directness, as opposed to Lucho Diaz, who'll be part of the build-up play and dribble a lot more than Cody Gakpo. So this shot by Federico Chiesa is very, very prominent, because he can arrow those shots. He really, really can. Coming into this line as well, he's got that slip ball to Jota, as I previously demonstrated as well, which gives the overlap to Trent Alexander-Arnold as well, and you know that he can hit magic. He can hit the Cody Gakpo. He can slide it into Chiesa. Chiesa might go to the P spot. He might hit Chiesa here. You have Dominic Soboslai for the long shot from distance as well. Yeah, McAllister for the long shot from distance. My goodness, have you seen how many shots from distance this whole quadrant, not sure about this guy, but this whole team here can absolutely smash it in from a distance? That is suffocating for the opposition, because you're going to need to close them down. 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 That provides the optimum amount of options and types of shots and types of goal scoring opportunity that Arne Slot would love in his team. Tactical flexibility on the laterals as well. And Chiesa would be a very, very technical, intelligent player to be the third man receiving it, to ultimately have that game-winning contribution, because he's so familiar with that position. And he's familiar on the left-hand side as well. So if you really, really wanted to rotate your wingers, and let's reset this, and let's put Lucho Diaz on just for this particular example. Because in this system here, you now have two players, the traditional winger style system, who can go around the outside. Chiesa can go around the outside. He's got a very, very adept cut inside dribble. His feet are very, very tidy. He's skillful. He is skillful. He may not have that exact burst of acceleration or the initial pace he showed and promised when he was at 100 million rated player, but he can, on his day, still beat a man with skill, with pace, just needs the right scenario and right situation. You have two players who would be very willing to go around the outside, which means you can plant players in and around the edge of the box for any spillage, any cutback, any pullback. These two players on the edge, thank you very much. If you want to add a free, once again, thank you very much. These three players on the edge, and you've got Diogo Jota, who'd be there to link up with him, going down the lines. And what have you got here? You've got options galore, as usual. Smash it in across the side. Very, very tricky, very, very beautiful. Lucho Diaz can do exactly the same thing on the outside, on the right-hand side. And the most beautiful thing is Lucho Diaz's left-footed delivery is not very good. But on the right-hand side, you'd expect he can pick a man out, he can pick a man out, he can pick a man out, he can pick a man out. Everyone dive in. Who's going to stay on the outside? Intelligence. I really, really love the tactical versatility that Federico Chiesa can supply, because he can go on the outside on both sides. And if you have him on the outside and left, Lucho Diaz outside on the right. Makes a lot of sense. There's no other player in this squad, I think, goes outside on the right as well as Lucho Diaz and Chiesa. But Chiesa has the added bonus of being able to do it on the left-hand side as well, because the left foot is very, very cultured and quite good in delivery and in shot as well. That, for me, is magic, because if the wingless wonders, the inside forwards who cut inside, if that system isn't working, you have those options on the outside as well, which means Robertson can sit more in the inside position. Alexander-Arnold can sit on a more inside position. And what that allows you to do is identify the point of attack from the opposition straight away. These are the channels that they will go in. You stop the fast breaks and the counter-attack, the direct route to goal. Because this spot, the fastest route to goal is right through the middle. You congest the centre, which means you know where they're going to hit. You know the long balls, where they're going to hit. And you can account for it productively, because ultimately it's going to be a cross. Or if it's not a cross and they're coming back in here, you've got bodies back to defend the centre as well. So Arne Slot's transitional defence is very, very strong. And Federico Chiesa, with the ability to go on the outside on both sides, is a major, major asset. Hopefully that video was useful, very, very informative. I think this is a very, very intelligent signing. And now, as you may know, Japan, especially Miyazaki Japan down in Kyushu, we're about to be smashed by Typhoon Shanshan. Now, what is the difference between a typhoon and a hurricane? A typhoon comes over sea. A hurricane, I believe, generates on land, but they're more or less the same thing, just different terminology and depending on which ocean they fly over. So in that regard, I've prepared myself with some kit. Not sure what it is. I buy lots of kit because I love my merch. So let's see what we got. I don't know, you don't know, we don't know, but we will know very soon. Because this is... it's black. I can see the Warrior logo. I do love my Warrior kit. Hopefully this will keep me nice, warm and dry, because this is definitely not a shirt. This is... I'm chuffed. I'm well chuffed, lads. Warrior, Liver Bird, yellow insignia, breathable on the armpits and the rims. This looks waterproof to me. Is there it must be like a hood, right? This type of thing. Is it called a windbreaker? Someone let me know in the comments below. Is this kind of thing called a windbreaker? Standard, chartered, black and yellow, Warrior. Power of the Ultimate Warrior. Loved him back in the day. Absolutely bonkers. Warrior LFC. Zipped appendages. Let's get this bad boy on right now. Nice mesh inside. Fantastic. You might be able to hear the thunderstorms and rain outside. It's building up very, very quickly. We've already got our emergency rations, our dried foods. We've taken everything in the garden inside as well. But yes, I'm ready to coach from the sidelines, my Liverpool brethren. I'm loving the interaction. I'm here all day, every day to chat with you guys. Join me on Discord. I love the banter. And as I couldn't go out, let me show you the clips of taking little Princess Miyatan and the Mushroom Boy Eito and the Mrs. Miyazaki Mama Mai. We went out together to a place called Miyako City, a beautiful mall, and the kids enjoyed themselves. Fun little day out. But just before we do, I want to give a huge shout out to Jamie. Your comments have been so motivating for me. Delighted to read it all the time. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Your daughter's a sweetheart as well, helping you out with the tech. Kimberly, you're always getting my mind thinking about different possibilities as well. Absolutely love your comments. Mighty Mike, big shout out to you as well. Guys, we are growing the best community by far. Jin, thank you to you too. Really, I hope you guys have enjoyed the Endo Gum Shield, the legend and legacy of the 60th, is it 60th, 61st prototype of the Gum Shield in the members section. Make sure you join. It's cheaper than a cup of mediocre Costa coffee a month, so why not? Your membership really helps keep this channel afloat. Also helps me buy kit for myself and the little ones as well. Speaking of little ones, she's watching No More Monkeys jumping on the bed. Oh my god. No more monkey. No more monkeys? Yeah. Okay, where were we? Arne Slot. Na 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 na. Ah, gambaré mia. Whoa. That's my lad right here. Oh. They're eating gelato. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Smash that like, subscribe if you haven't already. Let's play my music.
Liverpool fan in Japan.